Hey beautiful biscuits, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you've noticed yet, but it's March. I know I'm gonna be wearing bow ties a lot. I bought my professor bow ties for Patreon, and I'm just gonna be wearing them around in all my videos because I think this is the month of bow ties. This is my style vibe for the year. Bow ties. I'm thinking about getting some vests. That's my vibe. I thought I would pop on here and talk a little bit about homemaking to kind of spruce up your home to get ready for spring. Because March for me is the turnover month where it's still really wintry, but I really want to start kind of doing all my home prep for spring. I want to do all my yard prep for spring. I want to start thinking about warmer days that are starting to bloom and grow life, right? This is kind of the month where daffodils start coming up. I've got my yellow leg warmers on for daffodil season, and then tulips start to bloom next month. So it's really time where I start putting in a little bit more elbow grease to my home to make it more beautiful and pleasing for spring, because then May will come before I know it, and that is when full gardening season starts and I get to go lounge about outside. And when I say lounge, I mean dig a lot of holes, do constant weeding and watering, and hunt slugs, because slugs are one of the banes of my existence. They like to eat all of my little seedlings. So this time of year, what I'm focusing on, and I'll kind of go through steps of what I'm doing this year and then kind of general stuff that I do. This year I've invested in a couple of air filters. So this time of year, I have horrible allergies. Any of you biscuits that follow me around on Patreon know that I talk about this during spring season. Is I just get terrible spring allergies. I'm one of those, as my family members call me, a delicate snowflake who's allergic to everything. So I've bought air filters that also filter out mold, because this time of year in the Pacific Northwest you get a lot of mold and I'm super allergic to that. So I'm trying to literally clean up the air in my home, and that I'm hoping is going to turn out really nicely. In years past, what I've done is I've done this time of year starting natural essential oils in the air. I've done humidifiers. I've even tried dehumidifiers. I've tested it all out. So far what I'm liking best is the air filters. I really love having essential oils going in the house, and essential oil candles, but I have to be careful with that because of being allergic to a lot of stuff. So if you have a sensitive snowflake self, such as myself, you can definitely do air filters. One thing I like to do is also to have houseplants, living houseplants growing around my home, because those are, you know, nature's air filters, right? They really do help clean up your home and give you beautiful fresh air. So I like to have as many houseplants as I can. My house isn't the brightest, sunniest house, and so I kind of have to really position houseplants around. But just really think about what air are you breathing, right? You're still inside, you still have the heat on this time of year. It's not nice enough, at least where I live, to open up the windows and go, oh, spring has sprung, it's fresh air time. Like, no, that's not going to happen really until end of May, sometime in June for where I live. It's a long winter. I would say it's about 8 months of winter here. Let's be charitable. 7 months of winter, trying to be nice. So really think about air quality, and that can be essential oils, it can be air filters, it can be houseplants, but give that a little consideration this time of year. Now another thing I've been doing is I've been doing a massive spring clean, and I did a big old clean over like December, January. Most of it was in December, January. I actually did 3 runs to the dump with my little car stuff full, because I was just clearing out like all of the old stuff. And I kind of considered that last year's spring cleaning because I missed it because I had a little tiny newborn. And so this year I'm like, okay, I'm fully doing last year's spring cleaning, and now I'm kind of restarting. So I went through my closet and I filled up an entire trash bag of clothes that I don't even know if I'm going to give them away. Honestly, I might toss them because they're just really old clothes that I've worn through. This year I'm really spending some time homemaking myself, I guess is the best way to put it. I can't remember the last time I've really spent time buying myself new clothes in the size that I am currently and really like put some thought into it. Probably that was before I was a mom. That was the last time I spent any time on myself really style-wise. Like, I'll buy something here or there occasionally with no real thought. And you know, I really miss that. So what I'm doing is this year is for spring is I'm cleaning out my closet. This is a great thing you can do. Go through your socks, your underwear, go through all your shirts, dresses, pants, and just be merciless. If you haven't worn it, or if it is just really worn through and maybe it doesn't fit you, maybe it fits you but it just isn't a flattering cut, if it's super outdated, it's time to just purge that stuff. And I've been shocked by how much clothes I've been holding on to. Over the winter when I was doing last year's spring cleaning, I did an entire bag. This spring I've already done a whole bag, and probably if I'm a little bit more merciless, I'm willing to go through and probably do a whole nother bag. And then the nice thing about that is that just like we take care of our homes, right, then we can take care of ourselves. It's the same reason that I'm also going through all my cabinets in my bathroom, and I'm getting rid of old toiletries. I'm replacing lotions. You know, I'm just kind of refreshing and renewing and taking stock and inventory of what I do have, what I have really enjoyed, and what's going to bring me more bliss in my life, in my day-to-day routines, you know, because we spend so much time taking care of our skin, wearing the clothes that we pick out, spending time in our home and the spaces we make, that if we don't do a conscious effort to make it beautiful and homey, it really is easy for that to slip through our fingers and for us to not feel comforted and happy and at home. You know, it's the idea of homemaking for me at least. So I'm renewing my wardrobe, and I'm going to actually do some style hauls. I think I'll do them on here for you biscuits. Let me know. Tell me in the comments, is that something I should include on this channel? It's not quite homemaking. I mean, I think of it as in the homemaking genre. I could put it on my main channel. Let me know if you're more interested in seeing it on here. If you're like, just keep it on your main channel. Because I'm going to do some whole new kind of wardrobe overhauls. I have spent 2 years during the Rona in just like sweatpants. You know, half of the Rona I was pregnant, half of the Rona I've been postpartum, and now I'm just kind of ready to like wear some normal clothing, be comfortable in my clothing, kind of change up my style. I feel like my style has changed a lot over the years, since the last decade. It's probably been a decade since I've really shopped for myself for clothes. Yeah, I think it's safe to say it's been at least a decade since I actually concisely and thoughtfully went and picked out outfits for myself. And I've got a trip to Florida coming up, a late spring. I'm very excited about that. I cannot wait. I have wanted to go back to Florida since we did a road trip in the RV with my RV friends years ago. I mean, I can't, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, something around there. And so I'm gonna go check out parts of Florida that have always been on my bucket list. And I was going through my closet with all of this, and I realized that I have like no warm weather clothing left. It's been, the warm weather clothing I have are clothes that I probably bought like 10 years ago, you know, like old shorts, old tank tops. And I was shocked to discover I hadn't, like, nothing. There was nothing that I had recently bought, even in the last 5 years, let alone last year or two. So I'm really going through my whole home, and I consider that my self-care routine, my style, my physical space, my office space. Like, I'm going through the whole thing, and I'm just doing a reset. And I'm putting no pressure or timeline on myself, and I don't think you should either when that needs to be done. But I'm really spending the time and giving myself the space to think it through of what do I want to be cultivating. And I know this is going to laugh at me for this word, but what do I want to be manifesting in my life? You know, with what I'm wearing on my skin, on my body, what am I putting in my home, what am I using in my office, how is everything organized? And I'm doing that all, you know, on a super busy schedule. So I totally understand if you have like an hour a week to dedicate to this. You'll be amazed spending an hour a week for the next 2 months. By the time May rolls around, how different your home aesthetic is going to be. It's going to be so beautiful. And it doesn't mean that you have to buy a ton of stuff. It doesn't mean that you're trying to copy anything. It's just for your peace of mind, you know, what does your homemaking want to look like this spring? And it's something small and big that I feel like makes a fundamental shift in how we're living in our homes and in our lives. Okay, biscuits, I'm gonna run off and go get some videos edited for OnlyFans and Patreon, because the editing never finishes. I post so much content on there that I'm always doing it. But I so appreciate all you biscuits that joined me over there and are part of the community and answered all of last month's quizzes and came along for our live chats. It's really nice to get to know everybody over there. And it's lovely to get to know you all on here as well. I love chatting with some of you in the comments on YouTube that I feel like I've been chatting with you for years now, and it's really a delight. Okay, I'm gonna see you around. I love y'all biscuits. Have a fabulous kickoff to March. Oh, I am ready for spring, but I'm trying not to jump the gun and be too like, it's spring, because it's not. It might still snow again. You never know. But I'm ready to mentally refresh.